Imagine this. Tomorrow morning, you stop talking. Not for a day, not for a week, for one entire year. No conversations, no phone calls, no thanks to the barista. Just you, alone with the quietest year of your life. Sounds peaceful, right? Maybe even tempting. But your brain has very different plans for all that silence. Because real people have actually lived this. Scientists have studied every stage, and things get strange much faster than you'd ever guess. One man stayed silent for 27 years. What he lost wasn't his sanity. It was something far more personal. Here's the timeline. Day 1. You wake up and say nothing. No small talk, no good morning. And honestly, it feels absolutely amazing. Your calendar is empty. Your phone stays face down and silent. For the first time in years, nobody needs anything from you. But psychologists see you differently. To them, you're a node in a web. Dozens of invisible glowing threads tying you to other people. Every chat, every nod, every "how are you" keeps those threads tight and bright. Today, for the first time, nothing is feeding them. By evening, you catch something small. You just said, "Where are my keys?" out loud. To absolutely no one at all. That tiny slip seems funny right now. Give it a few weeks, and it becomes the loudest thing in your whole life. Week 1. Outside, the silence is total. But inside your skull, something is turning the volume up, and it won't stop. Psychologists call it inner speech, basically, the voice you think with. Professor Charles Fernyhough has spent decades recording how it works. His research suggests that voice isn't just you talking to yourself. It's a rebuilt conversation, your mind simulating the people you know. Starved of real voices, your brain cranks that dial. Old arguments replay. Imaginary conversations run for hours. You debate people who aren't even there. You start narrating your own life out loud. Okay, coffee first, then a walk. Full sentences to an empty room. Completely normal. Solo sailors report exactly the same thing. Alone at sea for months, many end up chatting with the waves, the boat, themselves. In 1968, sailor Donald Crowhurst set off around the world alone. His logbooks survive, and they show a mind slowly unraveling. But talking to yourself isn't the strange part. The strange part is what your senses start doing next. Month 1. Quick pause. If you like finding out what your brain hides from you, subscribe. Because this is where things turn weird. Your hearing has changed. The fridge hum sounds enormous. A branch snapping outside makes your heart slam. Your brain is hunting for input. In the early 1950s, psychologist Donald Hebb at McGill University paid students for the easiest job imaginable. Lie alone in a quiet room. $20 a day, great money back then, just to rest in isolation. The students figured they'd nap their way to riches. Within days, most were begging to leave. Their minds, starved of input, had started generating their own. And it wasn't restful. They saw marching squirrels, rows of floating dots. They heard choirs and voices. Full hallucinations in healthy young students within roughly 2 days. Now, honesty. Hebb's setup was extreme. No sights, no sounds, nothing at all. Your silent year is gentler. But the principle still holds. Your brain is a prediction machine that hates an empty feed. Starve it of voices long enough, and it starts printing its own. People in long isolation report hearing their name called, or a phone ringing that never rang. Your brain fills silence with people. You'd think the hallucinations are the worst part of this story. They're not. Month 6 is where the real damage begins. Month 6. Psychologist Craig Haney has spent decades interviewing people held in long-term solitary confinement. His research maps what usually comes next. Anxiety with no clear reason. Paranoia. Trouble concentrating. Memory gaps. And one symptom nobody expects. A creeping new fear of other people. That's the cruel twist of isolation. It doesn't just make you miss people. Slowly, it starts making people feel dangerous. Remember those glowing social threads? They aren't waiting patiently for you. One by one, they're fraying, going slack, and snapping. Social skills are use it or lose it. Reading faces, timing a joke, holding eye contact. Your brain quietly shelves software it never runs. Time warps, too. With no conversations to pin the days in place, whole weeks blur into one long gray afternoon. In 1934, explorer Richard Byrd spent 4 months alone in an Antarctic hut. His diary records the slide. Apathy, depression, days dissolving. Full honesty again. Byrd was also breathing leaky stove fumes, and prisoners carry fear on top of solitude. Your year is milder. Still, every real case points the same way. First, silence relaxes you. Then it rewires you. And then comes the part nobody predicts. Meet the man who truly did it. In 1986, 20-year-old Christopher Knight parked his car, walked into the Maine woods, and vanished. He stayed 27 years. No fires in winter. Too visible. He survived by quietly raiding empty cabins for food and supplies. In all that time, he spoke exactly one word. A single hi to a passing hiker. One word in 27 years. When he was finally arrested in 2013, journalist Michael Finkel interviewed him at length. Everyone expected a raving, broken, half-feral man. What Finkel found was stranger. Knight was calm, sharp, precise. His mind had survived the woods. Something else had quietly gone missing. Asked about life out there, Knight described his identity simply fading. With no audience, there was no performance, and no self to maintain. He said he didn't even have a name anymore. I was completely free, he told Finkel. Free. And in a way, gone. Here's the idea psychology has circled for a century. Your self isn't stored inside you. It's built in the space between people. Sociologist Charles Horton Cooley named it the looking glass self. Basically, you learn who you are from how other people react to you. Take away every human mirror for a year, and your reflection doesn't wait patiently. Slowly, quietly, it begins to fade. So is solitude simply poison? Here's the final twist. Because the honest answer, backed by decades of research, is no. Psychology draws a sharp line between isolation and loneliness. Isolation is being alone. Loneliness is feeling unseen. And you can have either without the other. Researcher Julianne Holt-Lundstad pooled data from hundreds of studies. Chronic loneliness raised the odds of early death by roughly a quarter. Comparable, her team famously reported, to smoking up to 15 cigarettes a day. Loneliness isn't a mood. It's a slow-motion health event. But chosen solitude, with an exit door, measurably restores people. Short, voluntary alone time lowers stress and clears thinking. The dose makes the poison. Knight chose his silence and stayed eerily intact. Hebb's students and Haney's prisoners had it forced on them and cracked within days. So, the answer to our what if? A silent year wouldn't just leave you lonely. It would slowly dissolve the you that speaks. The practical takeaway is refreshingly small. Tiny chats count. Gillian Sandstrom and Elizabeth Dunn found that brief barista conversations measurably lift well-being. So spend one of those 30-second conversations on purpose today. Every single one is a thread. And now you know what silence costs. Next question. Your brain deletes memories on purpose. Every time you walk through a doorway. That story's waiting for you.